Hey guys, I'm Avru and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So this is another video on coding during the holiday session where we try to use ChatGPT, which helps us to build web applications using Streamlit, right? So this is something which I started in the last video and I'll be continuing as long as this holiday session goes on, or maybe during the weekends. And it's more about building web apps where we try to understand the basics of it, mainly using Streamlit. And also, why not use this powerful AI ChatGPT, which is crazy, okay? It's very powerful. Actually, ChatGPT will help us to understand the code, and we'll ask ChatGPT. Another main part out here is to how to use the ChatGPT's prompt to have the answer which we need in our debugging, or let's say while adding new features to our web app. So all this purpose, we'll use ChatGPT. It's more like the fundamentals which we will roam around, because ChatGPT gives explanation to each and every part of the code. So in the last video, when we were going through where we built something, where we built a dashboard or we did an exploratory data analysis, we used ChatGPT and we were successful in building that exploratory data analysis app, and we deployed it also in the Streamlit cloud, right? We'll just quickly go through it. This is the GitHub repository. You can go there, you'll find all the web apps which you will build using ChatGPT, and also you will file the codes out there, okay? And we built this particular web app. So this particular web app, which is more about, let me drag this thing apart. Also, in this whole course, I will try to edit my videos as less as possible, because it's a holiday time and I really want to make it more of a raw version, okay? So this is the web app which we built in the last video. It takes some data, and it tries to take the iris dataset, by the way, and then it tries to visualize the data using various plots. Here's a data frame, there's a histogram plots, all this we coded. This is the code which we used. All these codes were supplied by the ChatGPT, okay? We debugged also a few parts, few tweaks here and there. Or let's say we can also make some interaction out here. Let's we put it simple width, we see the changes happen. There's a pair plot, typical exploratory data analysis of the iris data set. And yeah, that's it. I mean, we have correlation metrics, box plot. If we just press this button, another widget of Streamlit, which helps us to plot something right now in this plot. So like this, there are different types of widgets. Okay, the more we do, the more we come across these widgets. And here we have the violin plot. We can make all these changes and we can interact with this app. So it's a typical exploratory data analysis which you deployed. By the way, you can get this, you can access this particular app using this URL, holiday-coding-sessions.streamlit.app. Okay, you can also go to this this particular GitHub repository. Here you will find the code, the requirements file. The requirement file was also created by ChatGPT, and you'll also find the app here. Just click here, you'll go to the app. By the way, I've also started to write down few stuff in the Medium blog post, where you can also check how this app was built. All this conversation between the prompt, the user, right now I'm the user out here. I have also put that, the prompt, and also the output from ChatGPT. That's also very crucial in our case. So I am kind of having a written note of it also. Also published this. This is in a draft preparation. This is for the previous video. I'll publish that also over Medium. So you can go to my Medium page right here. More or less I have written down out here. You can check all this Medium post. My YouTube channel, where I've made a lot of Streamlit tutorials, right? So, and also I'm also working with OpenAI nowadays. All this is out there. Check it out. Let me know how it goes, and also if there is something bug or something, report that. Cool. So we are done with this part, previous part, quick recap, and now let's come to today's part. What we will build is we will build a machine learning web app today. Let's try out. Let's see how it works. Perfect. So once I'm here, I will now give some keywords. This is the most important part. One thing I have seen when I was playing around with ChatGPT, the important part is you have to be very careful with the keywords which you put in your prompt, okay? That's something very important. So the keywords needs to be very specific so that ChatGPT understand what you want from it. At the end of the day, it's a powerful AI, but we need to feed it properly, okay? So that's also one of this whole video's learning curve for me, I think for everyone, how to feed in information to ChatGPT so that it gives us the relevant information to us, the feedback to us, which will be essentially very useful for us, okay, to build an app or debug our code or any other purposes. So let's say today we want to build a machine learning web app using Streamlit. How can I write that? Build a Streamlit machine learning web app using the Python packages. So we will use the Python packages. We will use scikit-learn. That's a very common Python package which is available. I think I will just open it here. The scikit-learn, it's very commonly used. Scikit-learn, let's say we use pandas for dealing with the data sets and all these stuff. Pandas is very crucial. And also we use, let's say, Seaborn. Last day also we use Seaborn and Plotly. Today we use Seaborn for get the visualization part. Seaborn, and of course we Streamlit. I'm writing everything explicitly, the packages which I need. Malignant tumor and also the benign tumor, we can have this classification of this random classifier model, classify between the benign and malignant tumors using the random forest classifier. Okay, so this is our prompt which we will put in now, which will feed into our AI or ChatGPT 3 AI, and I'll run it now. Let's see what it gives us. I'm expecting it will give us whole process, how to install everything. That's the power. Okay, that's where ChatGPT works amazingly for someone who, when we are learning, ChatGPT is the best way to learn the coding part. Okay, and as you see, it started with the necessary package to install. So it started from how to install the scikit-learn, the pandas, the Seaborn, the Streamlit. And the next part which is doing is importing. So this is the first part. Here we just press enter. All these packages will be installed. Okay, so I won't be showing that part now, but you can just click this thing. Okay, pip install scikit-learn, pandas, Seaborn, Streamlit. It will be installed. If you're in Windows, you can just use Windows PowerShell and you just write this pip install, or you can just use your Git bash. That also works pretty well in Windows. In Mac OS, you just need your terminal. That's it, and then you just use pip install. The next thing which it says, it's about importing the packages, which is very useful because the package which we need to use in Python, we need to import that. So how can we do that? We use import Streamlit, st, sklearn. This is a random forest classifier which I explicitly mentioned to use. The breast cancer dataset, again it has used it, so it has followed all my commands in the prompt, right? That's why we need to use the keyword. We feed in our prompt, and then we get the output as we need. So what I will do is I will just copy this part. I use VS Code. This was the previous part of the code which we have used. What we will do now is we will create a Streamlit multi-page web app. Okay, all this time our web app has only one page. If I go to a web app, it has only one page, right? I just want now a multi-page web app. So how are we going to do that? In Streamlit, if you want to do that, it's very essential to know. We create a new folder called as pages. If I'm not wrong, I think it's pages. And we will just say ML app. Maybe that's something we need, machine learning app.py. Okay, so you have to create this machine learning.app. You can just give any name however you want to. Okay, once that part is done, a new script file is open, and I just paste it here. Okay, so let's see if it works or not. I really forgot if it's pages or page. It's something like that. The pages, this allows you to create a multi-page. So I will use a very typical Streamlit syntax, which is called st.dataframe. So I zoomed in a bit, st.dataframe, and we put df inside. Okay, and this is our command prompt. I just pulled everything from the GitHub now, the holiday coding session repository. I'll clean it first, and now I say Streamlit run. Let's say I will say Streamlit app.py. So this is my Streamlit app.py. Okay, once I click this, we will open in a local host. Let's see if that works well or not. So it's opening in a local host. Okay, so that's the pages. Okay, that's the folder name. So this is a previous days, previous videos, the entire app. Okay, it's opening out here, right? And if I go to ML app now, this is the app which we'll be building today. What we did was we loaded this thing, and then we will get the data frame. We're expecting data frame, and I know why it's not still working. Let me also now hide this particular particular bar out here, okay, so that we see the code well. I will first make this, so I'll show you how why Streamlit is so powerful, because it's a real-time update. So I press, so it's not saved yet, so I'll just save it now. Control S. I press always rerun here. If the code snippet is right, we see the whole data frame out here. You see that? So our first few lines of code, we already have the data frame out there. It was super easy. So let me go line by line. So we imported all the packages here, right? And we loaded the breast cancer dataset, which is the inbuilt dataset within the scikit-learn, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, the sklearn package from the dataset. We already imported this module, and then we have X and Y, which is basically, we need to have the features and the target. That's why we kept that way. And now we create a data frame out of it using the pandas module, which we imported here, and we then dump our data frame in our app. It's very simple, right? So this all was suggested by the ChatGPT. That's very cool, right? So once we have this part done, it's working pretty well. So let's go back to ChatGPT again. So I'll just move it here. So let's see. So once we do this part, ChatGPT say next you can visualize the data app. So cool. Okay, why not we visualize our data app? I don't know if this will work or not. We copy the code. We just make a pair plot. So I'll just come in this part. I'll just say pair plot. Maybe I can put the terminal down because we don't need this terminal that much now. Cool. And I paste this code here. And let's see if we can plot our target out there or not. Okay, it's a pair plot we are trying to plot. So I don't know still why the pair plot is it's not working well. I get in this error, the runtime extension error. So let me come in this part. Let's see if without pair plot we'll try it, without visualizing it, we'll try to do it. Let's try to go to the next part of the code. So many columns and rows, it's kind of a lot of it. That's something which is not working well. So I'll just rather come in this part and the next part of the code, which is our main aim to build or train a random forest classifier, right? We take this part of the code and I run it here. I fit it. So basically we're calling the classifier, that particular object, you can say in that way. And then we have the random forest classifier, and then we just fit X and Y. Okay, once we have that part, we will use few of the Streamlit widget. So we just copy this part of the code. We already train our model out here, right? And then I will paste this part of the code. So I copy it and I paste, right? And once we do that, we're expecting a lot of Streamlit widget to come up. So I paste the always rerun button out here, and we already get a lot of the Streamlit widget. So this is happening because of this few lines of the code where we create slider every time. So these are the slider which we're creating, and this has a random value. So because this part of the code is trying to take the user input in order to fit our train model, okay? And our train model has a lot of columns. It's not only this 5 columns. That's why we get this particular error that X has 5 features, but random forest classifier is expecting 30 features as input. So now we cannot go on and putting each and every column name out here, right? That is like a lot of work. So maybe we can ask ChatGPT to loop over all these columns and get the mean and the max, or we can just get the maximum of it, so that, because the slider has the minimum value and the maximum value, okay? And we need to have a drag in between them. In that way, it will be easier for us not to write each and every slider. So let's ask ChatGPT to do that. So I'm asking now ChatGPT to loop over each and everything and to see if we can do this part without hard coding. So it again created the sidebar here, and now it is looping over the column, and it is trying to get the minima and the maxima of it, and also the mean of it. I'm expecting the mean will be as the value of the default value, and the minima and the maxima will be will be the minimum value of the slider, the maximum value of the slider. So basically, this has a minimum value. If you see, the minimum value out here is something 0. So it's basically 0. The maximum value is 20, which is hard coded. Okay, we don't want that part. So let's use this few lines of code. I like this part of code, so I remove this part also. We have established the train model here already. I paste it here, and let's see how it gives us now. It's rerunning the whole thing. That's a default workflow of Streamlit. It runs from the very top of the script. And we already get an error out here, says numpy.float64 error. I think it's because slider value, it has to be either in float or in integer. All of them as float, okay? Because here we have most of them as float, so it's better if we define them here. So we have this part solved. Now we have all our features, all the features that is available in our data set as a slider. In the slider, there is a value, which is a default value. There will be a mean value. There's also the max value, okay? So that's why we have this mean, max, and the mean. Now we got another error out here, which is numpy64, which is coming from CLF predict. I think we need to, whatever we get from this loop, we need to store that loop, and then we need to feed it in the predict to get a result. Yeah, I think that's how we need to do it. Maybe we can actually ask ChatGPT to do that. From slider, we need to store the value, okay, whatever the user gives it. And we'll try to save it. Okay, so I don't know if this will work well or not. Let's see, let's try this part of the code. And I don't know if this part will work well. And then it uses user input dot append. I would rather go in this way, like, user input, and then I would I will append, make the append thing to make it much more. Let's say we put input like this. Let's say slider input, and then I would append this user input dot append. This part I will use in this way, okay, user input dot append, and then let's do that. Maybe we will try to get the user input in this way, and a slider, this thing, I will put it inside the append, okay, and and let's append, and then I will try to feed it here, but I still think it won't work well, because whatever is coming out will be a two-dimensional NumPy array, if I'm not wrong. After appending, we need to reshape this part of code. So I will now give ChatGPT this thing. I will just give this part of the code here like this, what I have modified, and I'll ask ChatGPT to work on this part, okay? Yeah, so I think it should use a NumPy method to reshape it, okay, from 2D to 1D. I think that should be something useful. I think that's how it should go, but we asked ChatGPT, okay, let's see what it does. Oh, it's working. Oh, cool, it is working. That's it. Perfect. That's it. So it's working pretty well. Now if I make a change out here, anything, whatever user make a change out here, you see it's from malignant to benign it went. If I change here, it was malignant. So you see, any change in the user interface from your front-end users, there will be a change in your app. That's the coolest part, okay? And I would change this as, let's say I will make it kind of a Markdown. This is something which you can use, Markdown syntax, which you use for your README files, GitHub. It's very much useful in our Streamlit. That's something new. That's what I also wanted to add here. Markdown, and I do it this way. So you see the way this is the header 2. We can also make a header 3 if you want. That's how you can do it, or you can just put st success or something. Whole idea of it, it's working now. Okay, we could establish an app where we are training with our data set, and then input from the user end will create a difference in our prediction. So it's basically checking with it, and then the user changes the input and shows if it will be a malignant or a benign tumor. That's the power of the front end, which has been established here right now, and we can play with it more and we can get these values. Okay, so what else do you want to add into this? Let's say we want this ROC curve, or this thing, we want that. uh, let's see, can you give the accuracy of the model? Let's see if it remembers from where we left it. Okay, so this is very powerful in ChatGPT, by the way. It remembers the first time what you have used out there. Okay, that's something which the new features which came, I think, 2 weeks back. These things were not saved beforehand, so it remembers. It remembers the context from where I was we were discussing with the app. Okay, so other way which we could have also have done it is using this what ChatGPT is suggesting us here. We can make this train test split of our data, right? That's also very useful to do. Maybe here we are doing it right now here like this. We can actually use this lines of code. Let's say whatever ChatGPT 3 has given us, we put this thing here. Okay, train test split, we have x and y. Yeah, cool. And when we have our prediction out here, yeah, say let's try this part of line and let's see how it gives us out here. So we have an accuracy of 0.96. Okay, that's something which we made beforehand. Okay, what ChatGPT suggested us. Okay, that's pretty cool. And next, we also have all this kind of a widget which we can control and define if our tumor is malignant or benign. Okay, these things will change whenever we make any changes out here. You see, the whole app will rerun and it will change according to that. Another thing which you also want to add, here it is. We just need to copy and paste this part of the code. We can do it at the end also. Okay, it doesn't matter. Plot the ROC curve, and here it is. We have our ROC curve out there. Cool, right? We have a lot of features out here. Maybe we can also ask for what we failed to do out here, the pair plot, right? Can you make a pair plot of the first 10 features instead? So let's ask for the first 10 features. Okay, I think that's something which is not working well. Maybe it's a lot of columns, so we stick to the first 10 features, and let's see if can ChatGPT help us to make a pair plot of the first 10 features. That's something will be necessary to understand if the error is because of this huge amount of data, which shouldn't be, or it's just because of there is some error within it or not. So let's see if it can do with this few lines of the code. The whole data frame. Now we will use only the first 10. And now I'll just reload. Okay, just to ensure that it's not rerunning what we left it back. So if you see, I get this error every time. Okay, key error target. So this is something I will ask ChatGPT, and let's see if we can get a target. This error can be fixed or not. So it's taking the 11th column. Let's see if that will solve the whole case. So I press always rerun, and it's rerunning again, but I get the same error. So I ask ChatGPT again. The error still persists. Give me another alternative, right? So we get a new error. throwing the same error. So let's see. I see. So it has now converted to list. Let's respect ChatGPT's confidence and we try it again. Ooh, let's see. Something is happening now. Okay, so this is not a huge issue. I think I know why. I'm not asking ChatGPT now, but we know import. We have done it last video also. Matplotlib dot pyplot dot splt. Okay, to rerun again. I hope this is working. Okay, if this works, it's pretty good. I mean, ChatGPT gave us a solution even after facing a couple of bugs, right? That's the power of ChatGPT, which we always want to leverage, right? So let's see if it works or not. Then we'll get a nice pair plot. It's very nice to see. Look at this. This is pretty cool, right? So this is something which I wanted for a long time to do, since it runs like every part of this code again from the very top. That's why we see this lagging time. It takes a bit more time. That's why you can imagine why in the beginning it didn't work, because it was trying to plot all of them, right? Now it plotted how many? So if I 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, that made a lot of time. Okay, that's something sadly, I don't know. I mean, we haven't tried it. Maybe I have to debug it, or you guys can try it and let me know in the comment section how we can fasten this process. So that's something to work quite a long time. If we zoom it, we have all the features out here. I think I have to zoom in to see which feature is going to. Okay, so this is the main radius. All this thing is plotted. The first 10, if I'm not wrong in our code, the first 10 is plotted after a lot of trial and error, but ChatGPT did it for us. Okay, so I'm happy that this worked until now. Okay, so well, we have created a machine learning app. We have seen a lot of features out here where the front-end user can interact. We can play with these features, but again, this part will take a bit more time. Actually, use a Streamlit session state to store this output. That's how you can make this app run pretty faster. But your user can play with all these features. We use ChatGPT to get this output. We use a for loop using ChatGPT. Let's not forget that part. You get the accuracy level of this. You make a very nice plot out here of your ROC curve. What we did with ChatGPT, it's pretty cool, right? And next part, one thing maybe which we should try. Okay, we copy this entire line of codes and we ask ChatGPT remove this part of the code. Now our app literally shouldn't have anything. I just saved this part. You see our app is blank. This is the previous app which we used for a previous day. Check this video out. It's about creating a exposure data analysis. Today we are trying to create a machine learning app which has our breast cancer data set. It's trying to build a classifier, a random forest classifier model has been used, and we asked everything using ChatGPT. And now we are asking ChatGPT make a very nice code block out of it. You see, it is doing it very properly. It's splitting the data sets. It's writing the comments very properly, very delicately, right? So I'll just copy and paste once it is done, ready for us. I will save this part, and now if we see, the whole app is running from the first part of the code, first line of the code. What about deploying this app in the server? Once we do that, we can see it, right? Maybe we need to add, I see. So we need to add one more thing which we forgot. This will show us an error because we didn't add the requirements packages. We didn't update that. So it has Streamlit Seaborn. So let's go here. As you know, like Streamlit automatically pull everything from the GitHub. So as you can see, it's already out there now. Streamlit. This is the main app, which is holiday coding sessions or streamlit.app. It shows some error because of sklearn. Okay, so I'll paste it here. Let's see if any other Seaborn, Panda, Streamlit. Okay, we won't use, as I said in the previous video, we don't use this. This is the name of the version explicitly because we'll use the latest version, so we don't care about that. So the scikit-learn is added, and now we see this error is there, but that will also go away. I think this is the main file out here. So main app out here, that was the local file, which is no more existing because I've stopped the local server. And in the main app, we see this error. This can only go away once we make a git push again. Wait for it to get download all the dependencies again, because whenever there's a requirements file change, Streamlit will automatically also install the dependency. That's why it takes a bit of time. App is now on the server. You all can access this app, right? I'll also make a blog post. You can also check my other videos on Streamlit. I have a Streamlit tutorial already out there. And also you can check other videos from my. Oh, I get an error out here. Oh, I know why this error comes up. It's mainly because of this part which we used in our previous app. I haven't written it there, so let me also fix this thing. Okay, we did in the previous app also the same thing when we get this warning message out here. Anyway, so this will get automatically restarted. So yeah, check out my other blogs out here, which I am also writing this blog about how I created the Streamlit web app or the expression data app using ChatGPT. That's the main idea of it. I have a blog out here, GitHub repository, which I am maintaining for my YouTube videos. You can go there, leave a star if you like that repository. So this is the repository for the YouTube tutorials. Here you can find a lot of YouTube tutorials on Streamlit, OpenAI, all this stuff out there. Some Python automation with Google Sheet. That's everything is out there, very well organized. So make sure to check them out. And also, I'll be happy to receive your comments, your feedbacks on we can make more of this holiday session app, which we would really like to kind of leverage ChatGPT 3. Streamlit, the basic control, basic syntax you see today, we made a multi-page Streamlit app. It's more of this basic syntax which will be very useful for all of us. It's a learning curve for all of us during this holiday coding session. It'll be a long video, but it will be very useful for us. And in that way, we learn both using ChatGPT 3, how to use the prompt, how to use the basic Streamlit syntax, and also used to deploy the machine learning app, all with a very least amount of uncut of the video. I will try to uncut as much as less as possible, because I'm also in the holiday session now and I really don't want to work much in video editing. So that's why we do it like this. Maybe during again a weekend we can also continue. So that's all for today. Let me know what all you want to know in the comment section back about Streamlit, OpenAI, about the ChatGPT. I'll be happy to make more videos on it. So let me know your feedbacks and share this video, like this video, and subscribe to my channel. Cheers.